You know what? Wipe it on my pants. Yeah, just go.
It's so funny. Thank you. Okay, let's start. Hi guys, welcome back to the Oat Milk Lesbians.
Hi everyone, welcome back. Today, as you can see, is a very special episode. What is it about? Why do you look pissed?
Okay, it's about our coming out stories, and I look pissed because I was forced to wear white today.
Yes.
And I feel like I've lost all sense of individuality.
I forced her to wear white today because it is a special episode and we wanted to swap aesthetics for a while, which is white and black. And with that, I also brought my really favorite panda because, you know, if you guys watch We Bare Bears, this is like the middle sibling out of the other bears.
Wow, so the neglected one lah.
No. Actually, panda is very famous. I just didn't bring it because like it's really precious and I sleep with it.
Middle child is always neglected.
Is it?
Yeah, the middle child is always neglected. He's neglected.
Yeah, I can't relate. I'm the eldest child.
Okay.
And the other thing that we're doing is that we're gonna have a cake that we'll be decorating while we take turns to talk about our coming out story.
Okay, they need to see the cake more.
Yeah. This cake is a lesbian flag, evidently. And so we're just gonna be decorating this cake and celebrating our coming out with each other.
Okay, yeah, because it's gonna be Pride Month when we release this as well. So it's quite exciting. Alright, timer starts now. We each have 15 minutes, so we have to rush through our entire traumatizing series of events in 15 minutes, so we can keep the podcast within 30 minutes. Okay, where do I start, yeah?
You know, it's actually really interesting because I don't really know your coming out story, like in timeline. So this is almost like the first time of me hearing your coming out story.
Okay, so I grew up in a very religious family, but we're not going to talk about religious trauma today. But so the thing is that...
What religion?
Christian, huh?
Okay. Just wanted to put that up for the audience.
Okay, so the thing is that I never really thought it was a bad thing to be LGBTQ+, even though I grew up in a Christian family, right? To me, it was kind of like, it was a very neutral thing. There wasn't a lot of conversations around it. So I didn't think it was bad. And then when I was like around 14 years old, I was like with my friends and we were like talking about bisexuals and la 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 la. So I could tell that I was a little bit more attracted to women. I just didn't think that it was called bisexuality or lesbianism or dyke behavior. So I didn't really know like what this attraction was. And then my friends were all like, have you heard of bisexuality? I was like, oh no, I have never. And then we talked, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm bisexual. Then suddenly everybody around me identified as bisexual too. So we didn't really think of it as a bad thing until I went to a Christian school. So I went to a Christian school and I didn't really think too much about the whole bisexual thing, right? I didn't really like go to everyone straight up and said, oh, I'm bisexual. I was just like, oh, I have a crush on this guy, I have a crush on that guy, whatever lah, whatever crush I thought I had on guys lah, okay? Invalid, by the way. So during that time, I gradually started to discover that I was really attracted to women. And that was a terrible time for me to discover that because I was in a Christian school. We had things like religious studies where we had to sit for exams for, and we had like chapel every Fridays, we had devotion every Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I would go to church on like Sundays with my family and all of that. So there was a lot of like Christian shit going on in my life.
How old were you when you first realized that you like girls?
The drawn feeling around that time, I actually had my first actual crush on a girl when I was 13.
13. So like from 1 like that lah?
From 1. Then when I was 14, I watched, what's that? I don't know what show it was. It was like a fashion show. It's called Femme Fatale or something like that. I was like, ooh.
Ooh, Femme Fatale.
Hello. Yeah, it was called Femme Fatale. I was like, oh my god, they're so pretty. They're so pretty. And I kept watching it. I would like just watch every episode I could. And then it was so weird to me because like I did not have this kind of like emotion or this drawn attraction when I watched any other TV show. So I was a bit like, there's something about this TV show, I don't know what it is, but there's something about it. So yeah, how I discovered that it was inverted comma wrong in the Christian context was, I guess because we had a lot of like Christian stuff going on, like the religious studies and everything, and during that time, US had legalized gay marriage. And then our religious studies lecturer was kind of like saying like, oh my god, they legalized like gay marriage and da 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 da, and then they were like saying all sorts of shit about it lah, okay? And then I was like, oh, is it really that bad? I was like, is it really that bad? And then I started realizing like, holy shit, I am actually very attracted to women, and holy shit, it is actually really a bad thing in the Christian context. I was like, fuck! So, what happened was, I was still kind of like not really focusing too much on it, right? But then there was one day, this story that I told you about. There was one day, my best friend during that time, and I think she watches this podcast, I'm so sorry, but my best friend during that time in that school, she came and told me, she was like, I showed my mom your Instagram when you were like play dancing with your friends, and then she was like, my mom said like to stay away from you and all of that stuff because she thinks you're a lesbian. And she said it really loudly in front of the entire fucking class. I was like, what? We are in a Christian school!
Oh my
Shut
god.
the fuck up. Anyway, I think she watches this podcast, so if you see this, I'm so sorry, but it really affected me during then. And so, I'm sure you remember that we kind of distanced ourselves. That was kind of the reason. Anyway.
Way to find out through a podcast.
Anyway, yeah. So after that, I got really scared. I got really fucking scared. I was like, hello, this is my best friend. And sure, I've been educated in religious studies and all of that. So there's this whole thing whereby like, oh, it's not acceptable and blah, blah, blah. Then I started thinking lah. I was like, oh my god. If like God is a creature or a being that loves everybody but cannot love me because I am not straight, doesn't that mean that my friends won't love me? My parents won't love me, the people around me won't love me, I will literally be left with no one. So that was what got me really scared. So then after that, you know what I did? I fucking tried to DIY gay conversion therapy myself. Okay?
DIY gay conversion therapy?
Yeah, DIY gay conversion therapy, yeah. So I would like, oh my god, this is so fucking stupid, but anyway. You know Sam Smith has this song called Disclosure? And there's like a scene where two girls are making out. Okay? Then I watched the music video, I was like, ooh, lesbians. But then every single time I see anything lesbian, I quickly go read the Bible.
Oh my god. Dude, that is so traumatizing.
Yeah, I would do that, and I would read particularly the verse that all these Christian people like to quote where like, oh, man shouldn't lie with man, woman shouldn't lie with woman, that kind of shit.
Leviticus, is it?
I don't know what book, what chapter lah, okay?
Okay.
But I was reading that, okay?
Uh-huh.
And then I would cry myself to sleep every night.
Dude. Why does the DIY conversion therapy sound worse than the actual one?
It was actually very traumatizing. I would cry myself to sleep every night and be like, why am I like this? You know, I don't want to be like this. Like, who made me like this? And blah, 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 blah. And I would tell myself, it's a sin, it's a sin, it's a sin. So it was kind of a really bad thing. And then, yeah, it took me a really long time. So I was hiding that, during that period of time, I was hiding it from a lot of people. Like, I already kind of knew that I was bisexual during that time. And I was hiding it from a lot of people until like, I tried to... during then I was like 15, 16.
Okay, so like
15 lah.
like 1-2 years
Sorry.
after you realized you like girls, like,
16, sorry.
then you did the DIY conversion therapy.
Yeah, I was 16 when I did the DIY conversion therapy. And guess what? Because I was studying GCE O-levels, right? During that time, a few months before my like GCE exam, my Cambridge exam, I almost told one of my free thinker friends. She was like, I think the only free thinker in that class. So I almost went to her and I told her, I was like, shit, I need to tell you something. And then she was like, what is it? Tell me. Because she's the kind who's like busybody also lah, you know. And we're still good friends till today, by the way.
How you know she's free thinker?
She is the only free thinker in class. We kind of know everyone's religion. Like, everybody there is Christian except for like 2 guys who were Buddhists, 1 girl who's a free thinker, and another girl who is Hindu.
Oh, okay.
So the entire class, only those 4 people were not Christians.
Actually, it's kind of surprising that international school there's like so many religious people.
It's homeschool.
Oh,
Homeschool center,
okay.
that kind, in a church.
Okay.
Yeah. It's literally the church outside.
Oh, that church?
Yes.
Oh my god, plot twist, did not expect that.
Yeah, okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I tried to tell her, but I couldn't bring myself to tell her because I couldn't even like properly say it to myself without being like, fuck, I'm doing something wrong. And you know, during the time I was like so DIY gay conversion therapy, it's gone. Gay conversion therapy that like it got stuck, is it?
No, it's fucking walking around the cake.
Wait.
Bro, I'm gonna blow off the whipped cream.
Dude, before we fucking don't crawl under the cream, bitch!
Ah! I'm so mad.
Stop fucking walking. Stop
It's like fucking having a blast.
Wait, can I show the camera this? Is it so fucking? Where is the? He's fucking.
Wait, it's at the back here. It's at the back here. You see?
He's fucking walking. I was so homophobic to the point where I would go on like those YouTube coming out videos and comment there, being gay is a sin.
No fucking way.
Yeah, I had a lot of internalized homophobia and I was trying so hard to be like that straight person because I didn't want my family to disown me. I didn't want my friends to disown me. Like, I didn't want to be alone lah, basically. So, yeah, that went on.
Go on YouTube?
Well, I was looking at coming out videos anyway because I was trying to give myself hope that like, you know, there is a happy ending when you come out to your family.
Then you're like, oh, happy ending, but then, yo, that's wrong.
yeah, literally that.
Oh my god.
That happened, and then eventually, oh my god, you know what I did even? I went to my other lecturers and was like, what do you think of gay people? And then I went to all my classmates and were like, what do you all think of gay people? Some of them were like, I don't like the fact that they exist. Some of my lecturers were like, you know, Ellen is really funny, but I just think her lifestyle is wrong. My literature lecturer, she told me like, do you know, I know of this gay guy wrote a book. So he's gay, but then he decided to be celibate for his entire life because he didn't want to commit a sin.
Oh.
And she was like telling me all that kind of stuff. And I would ask my lecturers, I would ask my friends, I would ask the people around me and blah, 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 just to like test the waters, you know. Mm-hmm. Eventually, after all of that whole DIY gay conversion therapy, being homophobic and blah, 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 and talking to people and all of that bullshit, right? I came to the conclusion that I am going to try to accept myself, okay, and try to be a Christian at the same time.
So like, intersectionality.
Okay, yes. And then, so I finally got the courage to go to my friends and like tell them like, hey, I'm bisexual. So I went to them one by one. First, the free thinker friend, obviously, because that's the safest. First, the free thinker friend, she was like, oh, okay. And then my other friends, and then I would ask them like, hey, I'm bisexual, are we still friends? They'd be like, yeah, that's fine. There's this one friend during that time, and I think she also watches this podcast, but I know that she has grown already as a person, because back when I came out to her the first time, I pretended that my friend was gay. I was like, hey, my friend is gay, what should I tell this person? I think it's wrong. and she would like tell me everything she thought. And she's like, I know you're asking me because you want the best for your friend, but you know, this is my opinion. And then after like a few weeks after that, I went and told her, I was like, oh, actually that friend is me lah. She was like, well, you know everything I have to say about it, but I still care about you as a friend. So the thing is that during the time, she wasn't accepting of it, but now, she fucking like fights people who are homophobic.
Wow.
It's so good. It's so great.
Yeah.
Right.
It's really great.
So that was kind of the first stage of the coming out story. Then I went to uni. In uni was when I tried to be more, I tried to be more accepting of my sexual orientation, at the same time try to also still have Christianity in my life. But there was this one time where I was like, this is the last fucking straw. So what happened was, I'll be a really good Christian, you know? I fucking pray every single fucking day, okay? Read the fucking Bible and shit, right? And I would try to, you know, have some peace within myself rather than have that like stupid internal conflict between being gay and being Christian, okay? I tried really hard. I tried to ignore all of the noise that was going on outside, because you know how like in general the most hate you get is from Christians themselves. So I tried to ignore all of that. And then what happened was that there was one time, this other person who was also from that school, I don't know if she fucking watches this podcast, but if you do, fuck you. Anyway, she was the main reason that like I kind of like had like this last straw. During that time I was on Snapchat. So she went to a Christian college. And then what happened was I saw her posting, like, she took pictures of like these slides that she had in like a talk in that Christian college, and it was all about like shitting on gay people.
What the fuck?
They literally had an entire talk to shit on gay people.
Dude, that's fucked up.
There were PowerPoint slides.
PowerPoint? No.
And people were there, and there was speakers.
That's fucked up.
And she took picture and then she like posted it on Snapchat and she's like, oh, I agree and shit, like, fuck you, bitch. Then I was like, this is the last fucking straw. This is me trying to make peace with the religion, with the people within the religion, and also try to truly be myself. But I just realized that like, I never ever felt safe. When I go to church, I never feel safe. I never feel like I can ever truly be myself. So I was like, I'm not gonna put myself in that sort of situation, you know?
Wait, what conference was that?
It's a Christian college.
Oh, shit.
They had that shit.
Oh my god, dude, that's fucked up.
She went there and like I saw all of that. I was like, I'm so sick of this shit, you know. I'm really trying it. Like, it's so tough for me.
Yeah.
And these people are not making it any easier. They're not being very welcoming. They're not actually trying to accept me for who I am, you know. I was like, fuck this shit lah. Why do I want to be part of that? Then after that, I stopped being a Christian. I started to renounce religion. At first, I didn't want to renounce religion because I was like, I don't want to go to hell. But anyway, that's a different story.
Yes.
So that was the whole bisexual thing. I think that is the bulk of the story. But I think the interesting part would be to talk about how I came out to my dad.
Yes. So everyone knows that you're out.
Pretty much everyone around me knew I was a lesbian. Well, bisexual, a bisexual during then. When I was studying my degree, that was when I first started like properly dating women. During that time, my girlfriend, I would bring her home quite frequently, and I think my dad suspected something. Because I also had a rainbow flag plastered in my room now, okay, for fuck's sakes. Isn't it obvious enough?
Oh my god.
Yeah, so she would be coming over pretty frequently. My dad would sometimes ask questions about her and like, oh, what's she studying and stuff like that. And I would bring her to see my relatives as well.
Oh,
so my
she
aunt and
kind
my
of
uncle.
like met your family and everything lah.
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
So, I mean, I didn't really specifically tell him that I was a lesbian or a bisexual or that I like women. But I think it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious because I don't really bring anyone else back home. And back then, right, because when I was 17, I have these two guy best friends, right? And they are amazing people. Anyway, I would bring them to my room when I was 17 just to paint. And then my friends would my dad and my mom would fucking scold me. They'd be like, no boys in the room. But then after I was bringing that girl home, I would bring those two same guys into my room and they wouldn't scold me. My dad wouldn't scold me. I think he already knew.
Oh my god.
I think he already knew. Even now I bring them in also, he doesn't scold me.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Vape break, give me a minute. Okay, I brought the whole roll.
Oh my god.
My dad even took her out for like lunch or something, a random lunch. He sort of knew, but the time when I actually properly told him was during our breakup or after our breakup. The thing is that the breakup was very bad, whereby my ex would randomly try to hack into my businesses and ruin my businesses and threaten to ruin my career. And then there was a day where our Google accounts started getting a lot of verification codes, and I would get phone calls from the exact same number from Washington DC on both of my phones, which isn't like a coincidence lah, you know. Obviously it was planned one lah, somebody who knows my phone number for both my phones. So during that day, my dad asked me, what time are you coming home? I was like, I'm gonna be late tonight because I have to deal with some stuff at work, like somebody's threatening to ruin my career and hacking into my Google accounts. And then he was like, who is doing this? And I was like, my ex. And then he was like, ex what? I'm like, what do you mean ex what? And he was like, ex-staff, ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend.
You just say ex-girlfriend?
Yeah, he knew.
Oh
then I was like, ex-girlfriend lah. And he was like, oh, okay. So that's how I came out to my dad. And also, recently, well, I didn't really tell him I was a lesbian. Maybe he still had hopes that I would date a man because he would like, you know, now and then say, yeah, you know what, you're quite high maintenance, you should get a rich boyfriend. Okay, first of all, I'm not that high maintenance, I think. Am I high maintenance?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, fine. I'm high maintenance because I like good food and good coffee, okay? Anyway.
And honestly, like, I don't think men can keep up with that. in my opinion.
Men can't keep up with.
High maintenance. Like, men say high maintenance as a chore. Don't you think? At
Well,
least I feel like it sounds like that lah from straight people, like when they talk about their relationships with men, like girls.
I don't know though, because my dad is the kind of person who would really spoil the person that he loves. So that's why I don't
That is a
really
different
see.
story.
Yeah, my dad is legit, right? The bar is very high for me because of my dad, I feel.
Oh, okay.
But it's also very low because of my dad. Anyway, different story.
Okay.
But I never really told him explicitly that I was a lesbian. But I think he already knows right now because my friend wrote me a letter before he left to Bangkok. When he flew off to Bangkok, he wrote like this nice letter for me, and then he was like, the dykiest lesbianist, blah 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 blah.
Your dad saw it?
My dad saw the letter lah! Oh my god. So yeah, I think he knows I'm a lesbian now, and he knows about the people I date basically. About the transition from being bisexual to a lesbian. That was a different coming out story. I don't even know if we should cover it because I've been talking so much.
Okay, but you say the biggest coming out for you was more to Christian people, right?
Yeah.
Rather than your dad. So you feel like the pressure was more for like your Christian friends and community?
I think during that time it was because I was also at a stage where I couldn't accept myself.
That makes sense actually.
Yeah, where it was really very hard for me to accept myself, and I was like so scared I wasn't gonna have friends, I wasn't gonna have, you know, a family. But eventually, why it's not so like terrible when it came to my dad is because I already feel like during that time, I already have people who care about me and love me regardless. So I wasn't so scared to lose if I told my dad. And I was sure that my dad wouldn't disown me anyway because, I mean, he already knows that I bring girls home. So... he's seen me sneak a girl in before.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, like the first
Okay,
one?
sneak a girl out. Sorry. That's a brief overview of my coming out story.
Okay, that's cool.
Your turn. I gotta draw a pussy, right?
Yeah, it's your turn to draw a pussy. And my coming out story. Oh shit. Actually, it feels like a very big deal talking about it because I've never like really talked about it.
Yeah, I've never really like heard you properly talk about it before.
But you know my coming out story though?
Yeah, to your family, yes.
Yeah.
But to friends, I'm not too sure.
Oh shit. Oh my god, it feels so nerve-wracking talking about it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
alright.
but we'll start. Okay, my coming out story is also like quite similar to yours in the sense that like I came from a religious background and also a very conservative family, so it was very hard for me to really just live my best life without feeling a lot of shame and guilt lah. So it started when, okay, so I knew that I liked girls since kindergarten. And boys were honestly just like animals.
Yes.
Because boys are so disgusting. And you know, like, at the time I was just like, I knew that there were some girls that I liked as friends and some that I was like, wow, they're just really like pretty. And I wanted to get close to them and everything. But not in like a sexual way, because obviously as a kid, you don't know what sex is and everything lah, right? But I just like really like girls. And then that carried on until like primary school also, where I was just like very attracted to girls and everything. But also at the time, right? At the time, because I grew up in a religious family, and also I didn't know what gay was. So I thought that I was trans because
Oh yeah, same. Oh my god.
I thought I had to be a boy to like a girl.
Yeah.
So it was like, I remember we had this conversation. We like a girl, then go home and think about transitioning.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. We talked about this
Yeah,
before.
legit, I thought I was like trans, you know. So I was like damn tomboy and everything because I thought like, okay, you know, I had to be a boy to like a girl. But I realized I didn't really like being a boy because I didn't like associating myself with manhood and like just guys in general. So I was like, okay, what the hell is going on? It was then until I realized that there's actually such thing called being lesbian and gay. Then that was when I was like, oh, okay, so you can be a girl and still like girls, you know? But then it was like towards the end of primary school and then early into secondary school that my parents started instilling more religion in me. So that was when, that's a really nice pussy by the way.
Thank you.
It's really good.
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah, my parents started instilling more of religion onto me. And then obviously like I felt super pressured and everything lah. So that was when I was like in my straight era. I was just like, you know, super homophobic. I had a lot of internalized homophobia and everything. And then I just ignored it for a long time until I was 16. And then I started liking this girl. She doesn't know I like her. And she's honestly like super religious. She's like Christian and everything.
Oh shit.
So she doesn't know I like her until today. And I never talked to her also. We're not friends or anything. I just liked her from a distance. But that was when I was like, fuck, it's like I can't make these feelings go away, you know? That's a big ass clip.
I dropped it at the wrong spot. I dropped it at the inner labia.
It's fine, it's fine. So like, I liked her, and then I was like, oh my god, like, you know, I never thought that I would like a girl ever again, or like, you know, revisit this kind of feelings lah. But that was when I was like, shit, something is fucking wrong with me. Also because I was like religious at the time. So honestly, the main part of me being scared was like being scared to go to hell.
Yeah.
So I was like fucking scared to go to hell and everything, right? I just like denied it for a long time. And then, okay, so at the time, like once I was done with school and everything, I actually got a scholarship to go to study in a school overseas, and that school was like kind of a Christian school, and it was like a Christian scholarship lah. So it was really funny because like I went to this like church event, and then I got close to one of the girls there, and then I thought she was like really cute, and then I asked her to pray for me. And then at first she was like asking me, because she knew I was gonna go away and everything. Then I asked her, you know, I was wondering like you could pray for me because I have some concerns about like going to study in the States and everything. And she was like, oh, like what is it? Like, is it because like you are gonna get homesick or something? And then I was like, no, I'm just afraid that I'll be tempted into being gay. Oh, it was so cringe. And then she prayed for me. And then after she prayed for me, I asked for her Instagram.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, it was so embarrassing. But I never told her I liked her lah. And then she was like straight as hell also. Yeah, so but I never like contacted her anymore after that. Just like I was just dumb at the time.
Hell no.
So when I went to college, and then when I went to college, I was actually living alone, and then I didn't have any family members and everything when I was there. So I feel like that kind of gave me the liberty to be more open about my sexuality and like, you know, exploring more. But I still had a lot of internalized homophobia. It was to the point, in my first year, I wrote a paper about why homosexuality is wrong.
Oh shit.
Oh my god, but surprisingly I got a B+ on it. And I think, you know, at the time I was just trying to convince myself so hard for something, you know, then it was like so stupid lah. But then like over time later on, I was just like, because I took a lot of religion classes back then, and also I was just struggling a lot with being Christian and everything. And okay, ultimately I decided that the religion wasn't for me because I was born into it, and also because I disagreed with a lot of the teachings, and it's not just about being gay. And also because for me, I feel like, okay, some people, they can like differentiate religion in the sense that they can be like, okay, religion is religion, but I can be gay or I can be whatever I want to be on top of the religion. Like I can interpret the religion how I see it. But for me, it's more like because I see a religion inclusive of the people in the religion.
Yeah.
Because I feel like religion also comes with having a community.
Yes.
And I just didn't fucking like the community at all.
Yeah.
And I just feel like generally the people in the community were just like very conservative. They were very like misogynistic, very homophobic, a lot of things. Everything was just like very problematic within a lot of like Christian religions.
Yes.
That was when I was just like, yeah, the religion is not really for me, and I just don't really believe in it. And then I just finally let go of all of it when I realized that hell is just a state of mind. You know, it's not really that deep if you don't think about it. And this is just me. Like, you know, for people who believe in it and everything, I don't mean to like offend you or what, but this is just like how I came to terms with finding a faith of my own that I resonate with. And the faith is basically just like atheism.
Yeah.
Atheism, agnosticism, yeah. But yeah, ultimately, I just feel like right now that's where I'm at lah, you know. So yeah, that was that. And then so afterwards when I was like done with everything already, so you know the thing is, right, I feel like my mom always sort of knew that I was gay because every year she would ask me, she'll be like, girl, are you a lesbian? And then I'll be like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm straight. But I wouldn't say I'm straight lah, because she would always ask me, she's like, why don't you have a boyfriend and everything? Okay, at the times I had like boyfriends and all, but I wouldn't tell her lah. But you know, at the time I was just like, you know, I just didn't want to like say anything lah. You know, so I feel like she's always known and everything. And how I came out was actually, okay, my parents were actually like the biggest the scariest part of coming out for me, because I felt like everyone already knew that I was gay. You know, because I didn't really have like a big coming out to my friends or whatever. It was more just like, hey, I went out with a girl today. And then they're like, wait, you're bisexual? And then I'm like, yeah, I am. At the time when I was you know, only later on when I came to terms with being a lesbian, I told them like, hey, actually, like, I'm not bi anymore. I'm lesbian.
Yeah.
Which was like fine. I feel like with friends it's very easy. Yeah. And also I wasn't like in a Christian community, so I didn't feel like I was coming out to any potentially homophobic people, which I understand like how it feels scary for you. Yeah, so for me, it was like to my parents that was the scariest. And then so what prompted me to come out was because, and also I always knew that I wanted to come out like when I wasn't in a relationship. Because I didn't want them to be like, oh, that girl is like fucking polluting you. That's why you're gay, because she caused you to be gay. I always knew in my head that I wanted to come out when I was single so that they know that, hey, nobody is influencing me. I am gay on my own.
Yeah.
Like there's no like external influence that's making me gay. I've always been gay, and like you cannot blame it or put the pressure on another girl lah. And also because I felt like at the time if I was like coming out to them, I think my relationship with anybody would suffer.
That's true.
Yeah, so that was how it is lah. And then okay, so one day in New Year's of 2021, few days before in the year of 2020, I was watching Happiest Season. The one with Kristen Stewart.
Oh, yeah,
You know that show, right?
yeah, I love that show.
Yeah, so I watched that. I fucking cried. I was like, oh my god, this is what I want. And I was like very emotional when I watched it because I was like, wow, it feels so good to be able to like be out to your family.
Yeah.
And then I got so emotional. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking come out to my family because I was single at the time also. And then I was like, okay, part of the reason why I wanted to come out to them, also because like, I think because they knew I was gay. So all these questions about like, oh, when you're gonna get a boyfriend, or like, oh, you know, next time you're gonna do this with your husband, or like with your boyfriend, XYZ. It made me feel so irritated because it made me feel irritated that people are perceiving me as straight or bi. Yeah, so I was feeling very irritated that I was like perceived wrongly, like either I was like straight or bi by these people. And I just felt so bothered by it. Then I was like, I don't want anyone asking me this kind of bullshit questions anymore about when am I going to get a boyfriend, husband, doing this with my male partner, XYZ. So I was like, you know what, all these fuckers got to know that I'm gay. So before I came out to my parents, and this was around New Year's, I came out on New Year's because I was like, New Year, new me. People just like gonna know I'm a lesbian. Then before I came out to them, I went and parked at KLCC and then I cried. I was like fucking crying and crying. Yeah, I was like crying so much because I was like, oh my god, like this is the big deal now and everything. So then afterwards I was done crying already, right? I went back home and then I just sat down and then my parents saw that I was crying already. Then they were like, oh my god, what's going on? What's going on? Who hurt you? Blah blah blah. And I was like, you guys gotta sit down. And then I got them to sit down. I was like, y'all sit down and I'm going to tell you something. And then I was still crying at the time. So I was like crying and then I was like, after they sat down already, I was like, I'm gay. Just 2 words, I'm gay. And then I was like crying. And then after I said that, I was like, I don't care if you guys kick me out. I'm gonna kick myself out. I'm gonna go stay with my friends, blah blah blah. I was like kicking my own self out already. And then I was like, I don't care what you guys think of me. You know, I don't want you guys to like keep saying things like, oh, you know, when am I gonna get a boyfriend, blah blah blah. I'm gay and everything. So that's what I said. And then the first thing my dad said to me was, why do you think we're gonna kick you out just because you're gay? So fucking dramatic. And I was like, oh, you're not gonna kick me out. I get to stay at home. And then, yeah, so that was it lah. And then, so what happened during the session was that it felt really scary, but once I said it, it felt less scary because I felt like then I could answer their questions. So they actually had a lot of questions for me. My dad was like asking me things like, oh, how did you know that you were gay? Like, when did you find out? How do you know for sure? And all that. And I was so surprised that they were very inquisitive. I was like, shit, like they were not scolding me. In fact, they were like asking me questions and everything. Then I just answered like, oh, I knew since kindergarten, like whatever I just told you guys just now. I answered all of it. And then at first I thought my dad was like so supportive because he kept asking all these questions. And then he was like, you know, I'm so proud of you. Like you're so brave for coming out and everything, you know. I think it's not easy to admit and everything, but you know, I'm really happy for you that you're able to come to terms with yourself. And then I was like, wow, my dad is like so open-minded. And then before I know it, then the next thing he said, so that's such a good thing. And the next step now is therapy. I was like, fuck, what the fuck did I just hear? So then he was like saying, and then the thing is like, after he said that, I was like, wow, I think we were on the wrong page on this. Then I was like, what do you mean? Okay, and to be honest, I don't really want to talk about this on camera because a lot of the things he said to me were very upsetting. Like, I cried because I actually argued a lot with him. But long story short, he just thinks that it's a mental illness and I need to go therapy for it. Even though he talked to me in like a very nice manner and he didn't kick me out. And he's like, and he thinks that my friends and people around me can change. Like, can change me and everything. Okay. The thing is like, I'm grateful that they were not violent about it, but also like honestly there was a lot of very hurtful things that happened in the conversation because there was a lot of gaslighting and there was a lot of manipulating and there was a lot of invalidation. But when I came out at the time, I already knew that I was going to be invalidated one way or another, so I didn't give a shit about it. I was like, I don't care if I'm invalidated, I just want to be seen. It was more of a priority for me to be seen rather than to be just accepted. And I came to terms with that lah. Whereas for my mom, it was a very surprising reaction because she cried.
Okay.
So she cried a lot. She was just like crying a lot and she was just saying, but the thing is like, it was a different thing because my dad wasn't crying, but he said that my mom was crying, but she said something very surprising to me. She was saying to me like, you know, I actually always knew that you were gay and I actually started going to therapy because of it. So I found out that my mom actually was seeing a therapist for a year because I'm gay. And she knew about it. And you know who fucking outed me? The pastor at my church.
I heard.
Jesus fucking Christ, I was so mad. And then I was like, who told you I'm gay? And then she was like, pastor at the church. And I was like, bitch! Like, then I was like so pissed because apparently like he was saying like, oh, be careful because like your daughter is LGBT and everything. And I knew it because his wife is always sending me all these videos about like, you know, conversion therapy. But then whenever I question her, why would you send me all these videos? She would gaslight me saying like, oh, I'm just spreading God's love and all that. It pisses me off because I know it's obvious gaslighting lah. And even if she's watching this, I don't give a shit because I'm really pissed and I feel like it's an invalidation of my sexuality and invasion of my own privacy. Point is, she said that pastor outed me. And then she also somehow knew that I was gay and everything. So she said that, and then she said something really sweet to me. She was like, I know this is not something you can change about yourself. That's why like, I'm going to therapy to try to meet you halfway.
That's so nice.
Yeah. She's like self-aware enough to go to therapy.
That's so nice of your mom, honestly.
Yeah, I was very surprised when like, I spoke, because I knew she was going to therapy, but I didn't know why she was going to therapy. She always said that she has her own issues and all, and I never really questioned it because she didn't seem like she wanted to talk about it. Actually, it's because of me being gay. Then so like this really, but then she also said something kind of hurtful to me, where she was like, because I'm trying to meet you halfway, I need you to meet me halfway as well, because I still need my pride. And I was like, oh my god. That was like so heartbreaking to hear, but
I get it.
Also at the same time, it's like, what can I say to her also, right? Because like, okay, she's doing a lot for me that like I didn't even expect, you know, and everything. And I just feel like these kind of things, they take time. So eventually I was just like, okay, and all that. So the conclusion was, how the whole session concluded was that my dad was not accepting. He asked me to go to therapy. My mom, on the other hand, is going to therapy because of me. And then my dad actually even asked me to text my brother about like a cure for this. And then I told my brother about this. And then I texted my brother, I was like, can you come back quick? Can you come back quick? I need to tell you something. And he was like, what? Can you just like text me? You know? Like, what is it so urgent that you need me to come back? Then I was like, I'm gay. And then he was like, okay, as long as you're happy, that's fine.
That's so nice of your brother.
Yeah. So that was it lah. And then I was just thinking to myself, okay, this is like, it's been 2 years since I came out. And I feel like it's been fine. Like, we never brought it up again. I do think I might have to come out to them again. Just because, you know, sometimes people like, it doesn't click in their head too soon yet. The thing is, I feel like it's very different for me to come out without a partner and with a partner.
Okay.
Yeah, because they haven't seen me. I have never brought anyone home officially and introduced them. Also because I feel like I've never had like a relationship that was stable enough for me to want to bring them home. Because I feel like if I want to bring someone home, I'm gonna have to fight my parents one way or another.
True.
Like, even though they like sort of accepted me, I still feel like I need to go through some war with them. And I feel like if I need to bring a partner home, they have to be ready for me to do that and for them to do that if they have to do that with their parents. So that was why. But I feel like I'm ready for that because I feel like a lot of years, like 2 years has passed, and I feel like I am more secure in myself and my sexuality, and also because I'm more financially stable now.
True.
So it doesn't feel too daunting
Yeah,
for that
yeah.
to happen, lah. Which is really sad. It's really sad that like I feel like most of us, we need financial stability, and we need some sort of credibility and support system to feel safe enough to come out. Even though our families are supposed to be those things for us. But it is what it is, and I feel like sometimes you just have no choice but to work around it. Yeah.
That's true.
So that is my coming out story.
Yeah. Your most daunting one was your family. My most daunting one was Christian friends.
Yeah.
Very different stories.
But the two things in common is that both of these things are people who are in Christianity. And the thing is, I'm not saying like, okay, Christianity is wrong or anything, but I feel like it is important for Christians to assess their own community to understand like how hurtful it is to be homophobic and to be hurting people who still want to be Christians. Because at the time, when I was still like coming to terms with myself, I still wanted to be Christian. I still wanted to believe that, okay, this eventually my relationship with the religion and community will change, but it didn't.
Yeah.
And I just feel like this is something that the community needs to work on. If you are the religion that you say you are, like, you know, everyone is loved, Jesus loves all, blah, blah, blah. So,
but yeah, I feel like Christians should, but I don't think they're going to do it, lah. They're not going to like analyze themselves.
That's so true.
Which is a very sad thing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they are the ones who are driving people away.
Actually, that's facts, yeah.
They're driving people away, and it's like, it's quite fucked up, lah, you know. And actually, just last year, I was talking again with my same group of Christian friends who accepted me and whom I'm still friends with. And I was telling them what was the last straw for me which made me not want to be a Christian, which is that story about that girl in the fucking PowerPoint slide shit lah. I told them, then they were like, you know, you can always still have a relationship with God and still be who you are. You don't have to listen to other people around you. You don't have to. I was like, it's too late for that now because I'm at peace with who I am, you know. I just feel like there's no internal conflict. I don't feel unsafe. I don't feel like I'm immersed in unsafe environments, you know. I told them, if you told me this years ago, maybe it would have changed my mind, but now it's a little bit too late for that. Yeah, so I know that nowadays Christians are a little bit more open. I do get that because those same Christian friends told me that like, yeah, they had to unlearn a lot of things, you know. Obviously, they are going to be like being brought up in an environment that's also homophobic, and they would learn that. And then they told me that like, hey, I also had to unlearn a lot of things, you know. I started thinking for myself, thinking like, these people are human beings too, you know. Don't they deserve love and rights just like everyone else, you know. They ask themselves those questions. That's why they're more accepting now. But generally, I guess younger generation of Christians are a bit more open, but in general it's still a very tough environment to be in if you're part of the community, LGBTQ plus community. So yeah, I don't know. That's that.
Yeah, I just feel like if that happened like earlier for me, I'd probably still be Christian now. Yeah. Yeah, because I felt like, you know, at the time when I believed in it, I believed in it. You know, it wasn't like one foot in, one foot out for me. It was just that I just felt like I couldn't deal with so much hate for myself.
Yeah.
I can't live my whole life hating myself.
Yeah.
You know. So I just felt like the timing has also sailed for me. Like I couldn't continue being part of the religion anymore.
Yeah. Same lah, same.
Yeah. If you are, as you say, because the thing about like a lot of these people, they care more about commenting and they care more about attacking others rather than being Christians. Christians, from what I understand, you don't fucking go out there and just attack people for things like being gay. You don't go out there and purposefully comment and use God's name and everything. I'm not Christian anymore, but I know you shouldn't use God's name to hate. That is for damn sure. And if you're doing that, I'm so sorry, but you're not Christian. And I get to say it.
Yeah. You all just put yourself on a pedestal.
Yeah.
And use the Bible to just beat people up, which I don't think is right. Because I mean, if I'm gonna be like super Christian-y now, I'm gonna fucking say the Bible says fucking love your enemies the way you love your fucking neighbors and shit like that. But look at you, bitch. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, it shouldn't have to be a constant war about like nitpicking you know, nitpicking different parts of the Bible just to argue with people. I just feel like if that is what the religion has become, then what's the point? There's really no point in that lah.
Yeah.
But that being said, I'm not Christian anymore, so I don't give a shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm happy with how I am, and y'all can go continue arguing and everything.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna live my life, live my truth, and just fucking eat this cake.
Yeah, eat this lesbian cake with the word dyke on it.
Wait, you said dyke on it?
I wrote dyke.
Do you want to show the audience?
Okay, wait.
Should we show?
Oh my god, it's so hard
Do you
to
have a lighter?
Yeah, I do. It's downstairs. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me just take a picture and then just put it in the fucking...
But do you feel like your mom was a big part of like your coming out story?
Well, the thing is, I did try to come out to my mom once before I came out to anyone else.
Oh.
I did try, but I couldn't spit it out. It was to a point where I was like crying and crying and crying and pulling at my own hair.
Really?
Yeah, and I just couldn't say it. I wanted to say it, but I didn't say it. And she would like come into my room and then she'd be like, I'm not fucking leaving till you tell me.
Then?
I didn't tell her. She was there for like 2 hours and I wouldn't stop crying, and my dad like told her to go away.
Did you think she knew?
I don't think she knew. I don't know. I think it was possible that she knew because she was telling me how she also thinks that being gay is a mental illness, and that people who are gay, their brains are wired differently. That's what she said. And she told me like, you know, all these gay men, right? They went and what the Christian pastor prayed for them, and you can see their facial features change and become more masculine and stuff like that. Yeah, she would say that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think she knew, and she wanted me to spit it out.
Oh.
But I didn't spit it out.
Okay.
Yeah, I would not spit it out, and my dad like chased her away.
Do you wish you told her?
No, I don't. That bitch is dead now. She's dead now, she knows. From up there, from down there, wherever lah.
Yeah, she knows.
Yeah, so... Okay, shall we light it up?
Yes, we shall!
Okay.
Yay! Happy coming out to us.
Oh my god, that was such a big flame though.
That was
Oh my
a big
god. Happy coming out.
Happy coming out
Pride
to us!
Month.
Happy Pride Month!
Okay.
Okay.
What's gonna happen now? Are you gonna get Panda to cut the cake? Aren't we supposed to blow out the candle first?
Oh shit, yeah, I forgot. You wanna blow?
Okay.
Yay! Oh my god, it's chocolate cake.
Ooh, oh my god, now I gotta go get plates.
Oh, that's right.
Honestly, I felt like that was quite a heavy topic though.
That was very heavy. We didn't laugh and everything a lot.
Can you tell it's a pussy?
Yeah, I can tell it's a pussy. I couldn't tell it was dyke.
We should probably end the podcast.
Okay. Can we change?
No, we gotta say bye.
Okay. Bye! We'll
Bye!
see you in the next one.
Bye!